So I'm here with my client Marissa, and Marissa is going to share her experience of the Sober Sisters Rise to Freedom private one-to-one coaching program. Hey Marissa, great to see you.
Morning, Kath.
So tell me first of all, what were you looking for right before we started working together?
Primarily someone to speak to and start a conversation, really, somebody that I didn't know, that wasn't part of my world, and just to get something, start the change, I suppose, do something about it.
Yeah. And is there anything that almost stopped you from joining the Rise to Freedom program at that time?
Fear, probably. Fear of failing or starting a conversation and then not really doing anything about it, and then perhaps having to restart the conversation. And fear was the big thing, and also the fear of having to make the change as well and commit to doing something. No.
Yeah. And you got over that fear?
Yeah, not instantly, but as soon as we had our first conversation, I already felt better just from having a conversation with somebody and being able to be honest about what was going on. And also that was, after having that conversation, it made me just feel more positive that it was okay and it wasn't impossible, and things were going to get better.
Wonderful. So what was your first impression of Rise to Freedom?
Really, really good impression. I think the thing I noticed the most is that it wasn't like you have to do this right now and you can never do this again, and if you don't there was none of that. It was very much, what is it you want to achieve, and let's start there, and obviously we can change that, or we can do whatever we need to do. That was my first impression. And just that thing of having somebody understanding to speak to, that isn't gonna make judgments on you, or I don't know, accuse you of failing. Not that people have been doing that, but it's just somebody independent. And yeah,
definitely. So I'd love to hear a few of the results that you've achieved while we've worked together. If you could share some of those results.
So obviously the first one is the huge reduction in my drinking. So that's the biggest one, and obviously the one that was the most important. But I think the things that have run alongside that are generally just taking more care of yourself as a whole. So obviously the drinking automatically means that, but the other things, like looking after, I know you always say to me, what is it you need? And I love that, because sometimes you think it's a drink that you need, but actually it isn't. It's a sleep or something to eat or some really simple stuff like that. And then the other thing is almost like going back to basics. So doing things that you've previously done in your life that you just stopped doing as an adult, because being an adult takes over and drinking takes over. So going back to those things, really simple things again, like just all the things around looking after yourself that are really important when you're trying to make these kind of changes, I guess.
The things we so often forget or we don't make time for.
Definitely. And realizing the enjoyment of those things again, like real enjoyment. So yeah, that's been good.
And what breakthroughs have you experienced that you didn't anticipate before you joined?
Well, I think the biggest one is initially the fear of thinking you can't do something and it's going to be terrible and it's going to be really difficult. And it is really difficult, but it's very possible as well. And it's not as difficult as you think it's going to be. And obviously everyone's in different situations, but if you've got that commitment and having someone holding you to account a little bit, not that you hold me to account in that way, but having someone to report back to, I guess, around your progress and stuff. And obviously my mental health has improved massively, my sleep has improved massively, all those things that you realize really outweigh what you were doing before, I guess. Yeah.
And not only that, I know that you have also quit smoking.
Oh yeah, the smoking. Forget about the smoking.
Maybe that wasn't part of
Yeah, definitely.
it.
And I probably wouldn't have quit smoking if things were still as they were. So, and that was a very unexpected plan. So that's obviously a good one. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
I just know that for you, you have always talked about that feeling, focusing on how good you feel,
Yeah.
and almost bottling that feeling. And I think for you, that's just what's been carrying you through.
Definitely. And, you know, for the times when maybe it has felt like a good idea to have a drink, it's remembering that feeling of how will I feel tomorrow? What is the point type thing? And that's really the more for me, the more I stopped doing what I was doing previously and remembering that how good I feel really carries you through. It takes a bit to build up to that. It doesn't come instantly, but it's a really powerful feeling.
Love that. So, who do you believe would be a really great fit for this program?
I think anyone, but especially for people, which is most people that are hiding things, don't know what to do, are looking for something maybe a bit different to what we traditionally know as counselling or alcohol treatment or what all those things. I think it's just this program's much more holistic and it's very real, and it it isn't, I don't feel if I have a slip up, I don't think, oh my God, like I can't go back and speak to Kath now, because we talk through it. And it's not always easy, but that's the whole point of it, isn't it? That we learn from these things, and there's no point in, if you've been drinking heavily, you've probably been lying to yourself. There's no point in lying to yourself while you're trying to make it better, I guess. And I know that's not an easy thing, but yeah.
And finally, what words of wisdom can you share with someone who wants to join us inside Rise to Freedom, but maybe they're overthinking it a bit?
Oh, I'm the queen of overthinking things. So just, you've got to just give it a go, because I suppose what is there to lose by just giving it a shot? And if someone would have said that to me a while back, I'm not sure it would have washed with me, but you've just got to try, just have the conversation, and obviously over time it becomes easier, I guess. And it becomes easier on yourself it's very time consuming hiding something and pretending that you're okay all the time. It's much easier to try and be a bit more real about it, I guess.
Yeah, time consuming, and it takes so much of our energy, and
yeah,
it's exhausting.
It is exhausting. It is. Yeah.
Wonderful. Any last thoughts? You want to add to that?
Probably that I wish I'd done it sooner. But a part of that was not really knowing. I found you by accident, really. It's not really knowing who to go to and worrying that that's not what you need, and that's fine. I think you have to find what you need, don't you? So
Yes.
yeah, just give it a go. Just give it a go.
Thank you so much, Marissa. Thank you for sharing your experience, and this is really going to help
No
others as
problem.
well. So thank you.